Welcome, my name is Justin Clark, and this is my presentation on forensic live response for Windows systems in CGS 5131 at the University of Central Florida. So what is live response? In a standard forensic static examination, the investigator is working with an inactive system, that is, one that has been shut down, just having the hard drives removed or so on. The investigator works off of a static image captured from inactive machinery, and it's primarily looking at information that is physically stored on that drive image. This information is called static because it doesn't change. However, in a live examination, the investigator is working with a system that is currently active and running, and is looking at both volatile and non-volatile data. That is, by volatile information, that is information that is stored in memory or is only temporarily placed on disk drives. Information which would otherwise be lost when the system is turned off. What information should you collect in a live response? Well, Nair's 2013 paper gives a fairly comprehensive list, of which small sampling includes operating system info, such as hardware, software that's installed, exactly which operating system it is, things like that. User accounts, including users that are actually created for that machine and which users are currently logged into the system. Network configuration and activity, such as packet captures, information about the individual interfaces. You also need to get running processes and services. You need to list which files are currently open and active, and you need event logs, among many other things. There are some potential pitfalls and issues to consider when engaging in live response. One of the most important, perhaps, is the potential to contaminate the target system. That is, the methods you use to conduct live examination may leave artifacts. So ideally, you want to leave little, if any, trace of what you're doing on the system that could potentially cause problems for that system or for future investigations. Additionally, if the system has been compromised by hackers or viral infection, any devices you plug into the system in order to conduct your investigation run the risk of being infected or themselves compromised. This can also apply to investigations conducted from a remote terminal. Additionally, your tools must actually function on the target machine. A good case in point on this is the Redline tool, which we learned about in class, can be installed on a Windows 10 machine, but the collector device that it creates will not actually function on Windows 10. And similarly, there are all sorts of tools that will only work on Windows, or only work on Macs, or only work on Linux. And last but not least, there may be laws and policies in place that you need to be aware of. For example, if you're in law enforcement, do you have a warrant to search the computer? Are you conducting your investigation within the proper scope of that warrant? And even for non-law enforcement, there may be issues of dealing with customer privacy or data retention policies, etc. Things that you don't want to interfere with, and you don't want to cause a hard time for the company. For this demonstration, I'll be using Microsoft PowerShell. which is an internal tool developed by Microsoft as part of their Windows management framework. I believe it's been available since the Windows XP days, but it wasn't bundled as a standard component until at least Windows 7. It serves as both a command shell, kind of like the usual command com component in Windows, but it is also kind of like an interpreter for .NET code, which means that you can write your own functions, your own commands, you can write scripts, and you can extend it with various plugins and components. So, and because it comes freely on modern Windows systems, it's a handy tool for an admin to have. So I've prepared a shell script here that I adapted it from the Nair paper I referenced earlier. Made some modifications so that it'll run from a USB drive and will actually output all of its reports to that same device, not leave any artifacts on the system that it was scanning. So let's run it. In previous runs, this seems like this takes about a half hour to run on this computer, so I'm going to pause the recording here, come back to it when it's actually done. Alrighty, that's finally done. Just under a half hour. So let's see what we got. The script generated a whole bunch of different reports in different formats. Here we have an HTML report with some useful system information. Shrank it down there a little too much. So let's see. Now exactly how valuable this information will be will depend upon the particular computer and situation you're investigating. If you have some kind of a virus, well, then you're probably going to be looking for suspicious DLLs, executables, and binary files like that. If you're looking at someone's hacking into your system, then you want to make sure that you want to look for weird activity on your network configuration. See if any unusual users are signed into the system. Unfortunately, one thing I could not figure out how to do with this script was to dump the current RAM. So it looks like, for the time being, PowerShell will have to be one tool in a toolbox of other handy tools. Have to keep on using FTK imager and whatnot. But this is a good start. And of course, this script can be edited and modified to do a lot more than I currently know how to do. So, it's our network table, all our connections. Doesn't look like anybody's been connecting to my computer. That's good. This one's currently not configured on my system. Some topics for further research. I'm fairly certain that PowerShell can be used for some more advanced stuff, like actually getting access to memory and stuff like that, but I just don't know enough about it to figure it out quite yet. Also, since PowerShell has been open sourced by Microsoft, it is now potentially available for Linux, Mac, and other operating systems, which have their own nuances to deal with. And that's about all I can think of for now. Thanks for watching.